Hey everybody, Glenn here with another episode of Deviation Sports Cards. Today we are going to be good lord, we're going to be reviewing some CSG grades I got on some baseball cards that I sent in. Now these ones were primarily early 90s, some of these from a collection that I bought. But the big cards that I got in here that I want to show off are Topps Tiffany. So anybody that's been watching some of my other videos knows that I've been trying to get some of these Tiffany cards in high grade because they're obviously, the only really cards from the 80s worth anything from a baseball perspective, because just so many were made, especially when you're talking about 87, 88, 89, 90, those years. With the exception, obviously, of, Griffey rookies. So anyways, we're going to get right into this. I've got a pretty big stack of disappointments, and then probably about half of these suckers I'm really happy with. So we'll get right into it. So the first off, this is just a 1989 Topps Randy Johnson rookie. I thought it looked like it was in really good shape, and I was absolutely wrong. This bad boy came back a near mint 8. Not 100% sure why. I'm going to guess edges, because I did notice these cards are very tough to get good edges on. You can see on the back the corners look clean. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure why this pulled an 8, but that's what I got. Next up were the two unfortunate Topps Tiffany returns I got. First up was a Ricky Henderson from 1988 Topps Tiffany. I thought this card looked great, and unfortunately it came back a near mint 8.5. I'm not really sure what caused that on this card. I did notice looking at pop reports that this is probably one of the hardest ones to get a 10 in, which I'm not really sure why. But overall, 8.5. Not too thrilled with that. And then next up was the Mark McGwire record breaker for home runs in 1988. Well, actually, 1987, I think, is when the record was set. But anyways, this is the non-white triangle version, obviously, because it's a Tiffany. Ended up with an 8.5 as well. Anybody that knows, there's like another version of this that has like a little white triangle down here by his foot. It's kind of like an error card. It's worth a little bit more than this base card. A lot more when it's in an 8.5 condition. These next few are going to be, pretty much, I'm going to say throw-ins for something, because they're pretty much worthless with the grades I got. So the first one here is a 1991 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. Thought it looks good. Got a 9. I'm going to guess it was edges on that particular one. Same thing with this one. I know it was edges. This is a 1989 Topps Traded, not Tiffany. 41T Ken Griffey Jr. got a 9. I've had to open like at least half a dozen of these Topps Traded sets. This was by far the best one. And for some reason, it just is very difficult to actually get a high-grade version of that. Next one up I got out of a collection. This is a Ken Griffey Jr. from 1989 Classic. It's the Travel Update Orange. This one also ended up getting a 9, unfortunately. So it's a pretty cool Griffey Jr., not a very common one. But I was hoping I'd get at least a 9.5 on it, but ended up pulling a 9. This next one up is one of 3 that I got. So this came out of a collection that I bought. These were promos that we're giving to charter members. The reason I sent these in was because you can see they actually are licensed. They have the Mariners symbol on there, which a lot of these front row cards from back in the day that Griffey was in, there's some with Nolan Ryan and stuff like that as well, don't have the uniform. They're not the licensed on there. So this was a little bit unique. So this one was the number 4 card out of, I believe, a 6-card set. And they came back a mint 9, which isn't great, but there's actually not a lot of copies of these graded from any particular grader, as a matter of fact. So this is actually the lowest grade one I got out of the 3, so I'll take it. Next up is really worthless. This one is a Deion Sanders from 1991 Upper Deck. Thought it looked like a 10, came back a 9. I'm going to guess edges again. Next one up is a 1989 Bo Jackson. This is not a Tiffany. This is just a regular Bo. And it came back a 9.5. So I was pretty happy with that. I mean, especially after I saw how hard it is to get these in 10s. Still not worth a whole lot, but really cool. One of the, iconic Bo Jackson cards from back in the day. So next up, I have another one of those promo cards. This one is the Homers version of it. And you can see Griffey taking a swing there. Again, licensed, got a 9.5. Again, not a lot of these out there graded, so I was pretty happy with that. 9.5. And then we're going to start getting more into the top Tiffany stuff. The stuff I'm really excited about. I got some really nice grades out of this. So, again, these are pretty low pop. For anybody that doesn't know, Topps Tiffany, I think 1988, if I'm not mistaken, there was 20,000 sets produced, I think. 15 or 20,000. I know 1987 was the most with 30,000. So actually, I think this might have been 25,000 now that I'm thinking about it, because 87 was 30,000, and I think this dropped down to 25,000. So it was lower before 87, and then it dropped back down after 88, I believe. I think 89 was even less, and then 90, 91. I think 91 might have been the last year. But anyway, so this is the 1988 Barry Bonds Topps Tiffany, and this one came back a mint plus 9.5. Pretty happy with that. Not a lot of these out in high grade, so I'll take it. Next one up is a rookie from 1988 Topps Tiffany as well. This one is a Mike Greenwell for the Boston Red Sox. It's just got the nice Topps cup down there at the bottom. Got a mint plus 9.5. Pretty satisfied with that. Another kind of a cult hero guy. This one is Keith Hernandez for the Mets. Not a lot of these graded at all in high grade. This one got a mint plus 9.5. So pretty happy with that as well. Then next up we have a Don Mattingly record breaker. This one came back a mint plus 9.5 as well. And that followed up, rightfully so, I guess, by the base Topps Tiffany of Mr. Mattingly, also coming in at a mint plus 9.5. So pretty happy with that. And then this next stack is all 10s. So I got some pretty nice 10s coming out of the Tiffany's. I think all but one of these, no, I take that back, 2 of these are Tiffany's. So the first one up is, again, card number 2. This is the breakdown of that Ken Griffey Jr. promo set I was telling you about. I was able to pull a Gem Mint 10 on this one, so very happy with that. Actually, this was my favorite of the 3 as far as pictures are concerned, so glad this is the one that ended up pulling a 10, so happy with that. Next up, we have a 88 Darryl Strawberry Topps Tiffany pulling the Gem Mint 10. Very nice card, iconic player from back in the 80s. Another good one coming up here. This one is 1988 Topps Tiffany George Brett, also pulling in the Gem Mint 10. Very excited about this one. It's very nice. Very few of these in high grade, so very, very nice card. Awesome grade. This next one is going into my PC, probably one of the few that will go into my PC from this. This is a 1988 Joe Carter, so obviously I'm a Cleveland fan. So I remember when I was a kid collecting these cards, Joe Carter, I know Joe Carter kind of hit his heyday when he went and played for the Blue Jays, and I think they won the World Series with him on there. But I liked him when he was an Indian as well. So I saw this card out of the set. It looked like it was in really good shape. I wanted to add it to my PC, and super thrilled that it came back in Gem Mint 10. Very, very excited about that one. In fact, I'll put this one off to the side because that's a PC card. Next up, 1988 Topps, also Mark McGwire. His rookie was actually, I guess his rookie was actually in the 86 set. I think it was his Team USA card. And then 87, I think, is considered wildly his base rookie card, I guess. And then 88, for whatever reason, is when they finally put the Topps Cup on there. So this one got a Gem Mint 10, so very happy with this one as well. Very nice card. Hopefully McGwire someday gets into the Hall of Fame, even though he roided up to get his homer record. Then next up, we have the last of the top Tiffany's. This one is obviously Mr. Nolan Ryan, and this one came back a Gem Mint 10 as well. So very, very happy with this. Thought it looked like it was in really good shape, and so did CSG. So I got some really nice 10s there. Some of the ones I sent in that I thought would get 10s didn't. But it's hard to argue with getting a 10 on Ryan, McGuire, Brett, and Strawberry. That's a pretty good group to get 10s out of from that particular year. And then the final card, I actually got this. I bought some cards in an auction. Actually, it was just some random packs of 1993 score. Ended up pulling out this nice Derek Jeter draft pick rookie card. And it came back a Gem Mint 10. Look at that guy. Look how skinny he was. Like, little kid. Cracks me up. So this was like a great deal. I think I bought it was like a 3/4 of a box of score in an auction for like $5. Opened up the packs. Obviously, score is a lower end product even back then. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't even realize this card was in there. I pulled it. It looked like it was in great shape, so I sent it in, and sure as shit, it got a 10. So very happy with that. So overall there, guys, there you have it. Some really nice cards. I will say, having opened some top Tiffany sets now, just because they're, high end and they're glossy and you think that they'd be great, I can tell you they are not all Gem Mint 10s by any stretch of the imagination. I thought in these 88s, I got lucky with some of the cards that I pulled out. I mean, obviously some of the bigger names here, I was able to pull 10 copies of them. But there were lots of cards. You'll notice if you've ever opened up a box of Tiffany's, or if you go back and watch the videos, there's like sections of the box. Like a couple sections will be really nice, nicely centered, nice corners, nice edges, and then some are just awful. So it wasn't like Topps, really did a very good job of, making sure that those high-end sets were, perfect, from a centering and edges perspective, because they definitely were not. So I would say expect to, if you buy a case or you buy a set and you pop it open and you're looking for those high-end cards, temper your expectations a little bit. I can tell you I've opened, I think, 3 sets of 87 and 2 sets of 88 and 1 set of 89. And the 87s are very, very tough. The 88s I've seen generally were better. My first box that I actually did on video did really well. The second one, not so much. In fact, I found very few cards out of the second set of 88 that I thought were even worth sending in to get graded. And then the 89, I found a few cards, but most of the big names were not centered enough to be grading candidates. So temper your expectations, but again, hopefully you guys like the content. If you do, please make sure you give me a subscribe and a like, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.